Hello. Today I want to show you my Gathering Storm Monk build. It is not a 100% finished build, it's still a work in progress. The build is, from my perspective, really fun to play because it's not just holding down right click like Frost Strike is, keeps you active and focused on your screen, while it also helps you accidentally dodge more abilities of the enemies than you would believe. As abilities, I'm running Gathering Storm, Ghost Dance, Herald of Ice, Herald of Thunder, Wind Dancer. The other ones I am not actually really using. You can use whatever you want for the slots that are still open. Temple Spell is a nice to have sometimes, but for now I'm going to be focusing on the Gathering Storm. So the way this ability works is you charge it, there is a little sweet spot, you can see it. This little pulsing animation. If you let go of the button in that exact moment, you do a charge and leave the ground and deal big damage. As you can see here, this is the damage when you do not hit the sweet spot. This is the damage when you do hit the sweet spot. It is a lot more. Alright, now for the support gems, I run Window of Opportunity. This makes it so that the sweet spot timing is a little bit shorter, but the damage is 50% increase, which is a lot. Then I also run Close Combat. This is basically a free 25% damage increase. Then I also run Concentrated Effect. Support skills deal 40% more area damage. Supported skill have 50% less area of effect. As far as I can tell, this does not affect the charge distance by a whole lot, if at all. As you can see. It does affect the size of the ground, which is not the portion that deals the most damage. So this is about it for Gathering Storm for now. As soon as I have 2 more selected slots, I will think about what to run then, but most likely it's gonna be just straight up more damage. Then for Ice Strike, I have Rage. 3 Rage a melee hit, which increases my attack damage. I pair it with Martial Tempo, just some more attack speed to make this actually somewhat usable. See, here comes 1. I wouldn't charge my Gathering Storm for it, but for these I would. But I also already have 16 Rage, which makes the Gathering Storm much stronger. That also demonstrated the use case for Ice Strike. Charge Staff and Siphoning Strike I used to use at bosses sometimes just to get that little bit of extra damage, but I realized the time to set this up takes more than just using 1 more Gathering Storm, which then evens out the damage again. The important part about this build is especially, obviously, Gathering Storm, but then the Heralds. I run Herald of Ice and Herald of Thunder. The Herald of Ice is run with Lightning Infusion. That makes it so that the Herald of Ice also deals lightning damage, which enables him to proc Herald of Thunder. Herald of Thunder is running Cold Infusion, which enables it to proc Herald of Ice. So they can basically chain proc off of each other. Further increase the damage, just long shot to kill stuff that's also further away and deal more damage to it. And attacks gain 35% of damage as lightning damage for 3 seconds on killing a shocked enemy with supported kills. Since everything is shocked usually from our Gathering Storm, this always procs. This then again helps us proc Herald of Thunder, which then again does the same with Ice Bite, but with frost damage. Attacks gain 35% damage as cold damage with 3 seconds on freezing an enemy with supported skills. That is only possible because the Cold Infusion is there. Then I also run Glaciation to cause 50% more freeze buildup, because we're not using a freeze attack like Ice Strike normally, we're spamming Gathering Storm. It is a little bit harder to proc both Heralds like this in comparison to running Ice Strike. So, as defensives, I'm running Ghost Dance and Wind Dancer. Wind Dancer is just generally really good if you're getting swarmed by enemies, and they can interrupt your channeling. So Wind Dancer is really good to prevent that and keep the enemies at a range. Running this with Magnified Effect, this gives 40% more area effect, and Random Ambush skill has 100 more critical hit chance against enemies that are on full life. More often than not, it is fresh packs that surround me that I did not hit, so this helps even sometimes to one-shot this pack. Then I'm running Ghost Dance, just a little bit of a defensive. When hit, I consume a charge and I get an energy shield equal to 5% of my evasion. and that is paired with 30% with precision that gives 30% increased accuracy rating while supported skill is active, which means basically always. To make this usable and to get the most out of Wind Dancer, I believe, because that also gives evasion, I am running almost only evasion energy shield. Basically what you want is as much evasion on the chest piece and as much energy shield as possible on the headpiece. Yes, I'm running a wrong one, but I found a really good one with evasion that has 50% increased rarity of items. I could not deny this. And why this is the case is because you want to run this node here. This gives Subterfuge Mask, +2 evasion rating per 1 maximum energy shield on equipped helmet. And where is the other one? Hold on. That's the one I'm always missing. This one. Spectral Ward, +1 maximum energy shield per 12 evasion rating on equipped armor. This is just this maximizes your defensive stats from just these two pieces. And on the other ones, I would just run hybrid energy evasion shield, energy shield evasion. Then for the runes, I have Iron Rune everywhere. Gives increased physical damage on the weapon and increased armor evasion and energy shield on everything else, which puts me at around about 88% evasion rating, which can be really good because I want as much evasion as possible, because at some points I might want to run this rune. I haven't tested it yet. It will be in the next update, and I will tell you if it worked or not. All in all, this build is pretty much a glass cannon build. There is not much defensives, as you can see. Not much life, not much energy shield, just evasion. So if anything hits me, I usually am dead unless Ghost Dance or Wind Dancer can somehow protect me. Important notes would be here for freeze buildup. And over here, increased elemental damage if you shocked an enemy, increased elemental damage if you jailed an enemy, and if you have fire damage on your weapon, you can even run Echoing Flames. I'm not sure if it's morphin. I believe it's probably not, but that's up for debate, I guess. Another important set of nodes is here. With the Coming Calamity, it just gives you 50% increased cold damage while affected by Herald of Ice, and 50% increased lightning damage while affected by Herald of Thunder, which means you basically have a 100% damage increase, if I got that right. I would not take these. You have to take increased damage while affected by Herald, increased damage affected by Herald. These are good. The other ones I would not take. I don't think it's worth it. Then over here, I have a lot of evasion nodes that also give dexterity, which is our priority stat. And this one also increases evasion rating from equipped body armor, which makes this even better. Then I also picked up the big dexterity node. And over here, it's just elemental damage, elemental damage, elemental damage, elemental damage, and freeze buildup. These three can be somewhat important because the freeze buildup is not that consistent because we are running Gathering Storm, which means I have to increase the freeze buildup to get the chain procs of the Herald. Then I'm also running attack damage, attack damage, attack damage, attack damage. Over here as well, attack damage, attack damage. So all in all, you want evasion, then energy shield, elemental damage, and attack damage. Your main stat is dexterity, but then followed by intellect and strength as needed for the skills, support schemes we want to run. You can see some intellect here, 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 and the rest is mostly dexterity. Here's another one, but yeah, you can see most of the dex. You can also see set priority right over here. Dexterity also gives you more evasion. Then for the weapon, you want as much physical damage as possible, and the percentage increased physical damage, and if you can, also the increased percentage increased elemental damage. I've already shown you a bit how it looks, but I'm just going to keep processing this map a little bit further so you get a general idea of how the build plays. A really nice thing you can do is charge it, roll, charge it, roll. This keeps the chance of you running into some dangerous things really low. You can see the runner immediately blew up. One charge it was frozen, second charge it died. You want to there's two ways you can play this. For example, here a lot of mobs are coming, so I can charge in and immediately roll out to not put myself in danger up there. The other way is to charge through the entire pack, if you can. Or just straight up kill where you land. But the more monsters there are, let me see if I can group some up. Now I have the issue. I can charge in here, I will charge in here, not everything dies, so I can put myself in danger. I can avoid this by rolling over the pack, or immediately running out of the pack. And I think that's about it. I hope you enjoyed. Maybe you even try the build, maybe you give me some feedback, maybe you have some ideas how to improve the gear. I am not running any uniques right now. I am thinking about running the Hoa gloves, but I'm not entirely sure if they work with Gathering Storm. I have not figured that out yet, but I will. And update you in the next video about this build. If you don't want to miss it, feel free to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And have a great time. Bye-bye.